Hello, babies.
Fucking webcams.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, deer, you're peeing. You got scared. Thought there was deer gonna bite your pecker.
I don't remember. It doesn't make a difference. You want to start the show with some opening takes? Bill is soon to join us as we get the show started. April Fools.
Oh, it is April Fool's.
I put that in the email.
I didn't read the email.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no Bill tonight. He
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. What do you say you and I start the show with some opening takes? The Simple Minds Sports Show. We talk the latest and the greatest in New England sports news. Ray, your opening take, if you would.
Thank you, Richard. As everyone knows, Robert Williams had a torn meniscus in his knee, got surgery today. The thing that's pissing me off the most is listening to the Boston media saying that they need to play for a certain playoff position. I say no. I wrote a blog on this today on simplemindsportsshow.com. No, simplemindsportsshow.com. Yeah.
Simplemindsports.com, you fucking idiot.
Thank you. And I wrote one on there today. I think they just need to keep winning. No need to slow this down. You want to play a confident basketball when you're out there. You know, you don't want to go and lose here, win there, lose there. No, you just want to keep winning, keep playing that playoff basketball. This is the best shot for this part of the country to win a championship. And I think you need to keep on rolling without Robert Williams and not worry about playoff seeding and playing the Toronto Raptors or whoever else shitty team you want to play.
Totally disagree with that take. We'll get into that certainly during the show. I'll give you my opening take, which is a Patriots opening take. And Robert Kraft spoke at the NFL's owner meeting this past week and put Mr. Bill Belichick on notice a couple times over, if you would. The key highlights out of that were he does not like the fact that they've not won a playoff game in 3 years. He does not like the fact that they had 4 years in a row with bad drafts to his standards. He does not like the fact that they spent some money last year and they want to spend money this year. No. Robert Kraft says no. Bill Belichick, it is now your time to bring this team back to where it belongs, which is winning playoff games on a yearly basis, which I think we should all agree with him. And there's some interesting sides you could take from what Kraft said. If you kind of drill down a little bit, was he needling Bill? Was he motivating him? Was he distributing blame for where the way the Patriots have gone? How much of blame should be on his shoulders? Kind of interesting the way that he came out and spoke at the NFL meetings this week, Raymond.
Yeah, absolutely. If you didn't fall asleep from it, because Kraft likes to talk like this a lot.
Well, he's old. He's an old man.
It's just, get a PR person to talk for you then and say, Mr. Kraft said this so we can speed up these interviews by 5 minutes.
It's his son who's like 60, by the way.
Yeah, whatever.
They don't let him speak.
Figure that shit out, man.
We'll get into that. Bill's opening take is bitch tits, fucking Ray's fucking stupid, and his mom's got a vagina. Did I nail it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good. Show rundown. Yeah, well, they'll be doing a Robert Williams knee, what that means for the Celtics and the playoffs, NBA playoffs coming hot and heavy here in the next couple weeks. Robert Kraft putting Belichick on notice. We'll be doing a little Red Sox opening day roster, just a touch of the Bruins laying an egg against Toronto on Tuesday, what that means for the division and the wild card. Simplest minds of the week, of course, and perhaps a soccer minute, right? Or perhaps a wrestling minute. We'll see which way you want to take that one, and we'll see how fast I turn it off. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, April 1st. April Fool's Day, you hooligans. Welcome to the show. Of course, the Simple Minds Sports Show is brought to you by White Birch Brewing, the best craft brewing in New Hampshire. Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Nashua is not the easiest word to say.
Nashua.
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 No, it's Nashua. Nashua.
Yeah, but
it's
if you're
3
from up
syllables.
here, if you're from up here, it's 2. Nashua.
Yeah, but if you say it fast, I guess. How do you say it? Say I got to go down to Nashville get some beer.
I need to go down to Nashville and get some beer.
There's still 3. It's just quick.
Nope.
Got to go down to Nashville. I got to go down to
Nashville.
Nashville. I guess you're right. And if you're in Maine, it's basically 1.
Nash.
I got down to Nashville. That's a little more southern. I can't do a Maine accent. I'd have to work on that. Anyway, White Craft, White Birch Brewing is down there. They do craft brewing, and they're in Nashville. And it's the good side of Amherst Street. Get yourself a flight, get yourself a pint, get yourself the Dr. Vittles Flight of Pints. If you can't get down to the brewery in Nashville, then get it at your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. Start off a little Celtics here. Raymond Robert Williams and his knee. He had surgery. This is Wednesday recording. He had surgery Tuesday night, I think. The Celtics and Adrian Wojnarowski also reported this. The timetable to return for Robert Williams, one Timelord, is 4 to 6 weeks. I ask you, do you believe that? If you do or don't, when will he be back, and what will he look like?
I don't believe the timetable is correct. I don't believe we'll see him the rest of the season. I think no matter how far we proceed in the playoffs, he's going to be out. And what was the last question? What will he look like if he did come back?
Let's stop there because I disagree with you. I don't think that they would put that pressure on a young player like that if they did not expect him to try and come back. I expect him to see the court. The reason why I asked what will he look like, because I kind of lean towards your way where I don't know if he's going to be the same player, and he might just end up not, playing big minutes or re-injuring himself. Although it is surgery, and when guys come back from so there were 2 surgeries. There was the smaller one, which is what he opted to have based on the results that we have, that would have brought him back in 4 to 6 weeks, which tells us that they thought that the tear was small enough where they could go in and remove a piece and they would be okay. Where the larger surgery would be if it was a full tear or a large tear, where they couldn't just remove it, because then that creates friction against the knee and the bone-on-bone shit like Julian Edelman had, which is career-ending and creates chronic knee problems like Kemba Walker had. Mm-hmm. So you have to imagine, if you're dealing with something that serious and that long of repercussions for a player like this who relies on his athleticism, that they wouldn't have made a rash decision to bring him back if it wasn't a small tear, if it wasn't a small injury. That's what I'm going on. Of course, maybe they could have made a rash decision, but logic tells me they didn't. Logic tells me it was a small tear. It was a minor surgery, and they set the timetable at 4 to 6 weeks because that's what the injury calls for. So if that's the case, I expect them to try and get him back on the floor. If not, they just would have said he would have been out the rest of the season.
I don't know. He's not going to be conditioned. You're out 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously, you're going to be laying low. You're not going to be out there being exercised or anything like that. So, 4 to 6 weeks there. Then you got to get your conditioned back. And the minutes that he's been playing this year, it's not like he's been, low in the league. I mean, we have an 8-man rotation, so he's in there constantly every quarter. So I feel like you can't rush this back. If he's going to be a piece of this puzzle for years to come, I wouldn't want to rush him back. I would say take your time. If you can't make the playoff run, then don't stay out. Get healthy.
Okay, so this is where I absolutely disagree with you for 2 reasons. Number one, I just laid it out. If they're making the decision to have the smaller surgery to push for a championship this year and sacrifice his long career, hey, tough call. I'll root for you. I hope it happens. I hope you can contribute. But if he had a large tear and it was a big injury and they still opted to go for this surgery and they sacrificed his future, then that's a big risk and a jeopardy. And it's not something most common day professional athletes are going to do, which is I don't think that's what happened. And even if they did, then I absolutely expect him back, and I absolutely expect them to push it to the limit, and they should try and win a championship. But in terms of, like, if he had a small tear and they still wanted to go with the lengthy surgery to keep him fresh for the next 3, fuck that. I'm against that all the time. I call it the Steven Strasburg method. I moved down here in DC. I've told you this story multiple times. Steven Strasburg had come up, was a sensation, got some tightness in his elbow. They shut him down for the playoffs, thinking that they were going to be the hottest shit for years to come. Took them 7 years to get back, and a miracle to win a World Series, spending a ton of money on that team. So, no, if you have a chance, you should go for it. And I think that's what they're doing, which is also why I think we'll see Robert Williams back. I think we'll see him back. I don't know if you'll see
he's
him
at 70%, though. What if he's 70%? Would you want him back?
Yeah.
Or is that rushing it?
No. So my next question is 70% of Robert. I don't care about the future injury. I don't care because I want him traded. I want him traded this offseason, to be honest with you, because he's going to continue to get injured because he's been injured his entire fucking
That's what I was going
career.
to say. That's what I was going to say. That's why I don't think this 4 to 6 weeks is going to be on his level.
So,
he's very injury prone. He hasn't played a full season ever in his career.
Back to the original time frame, the 4 to 6 weeks puts him at 4 weeks at the end of round 1, 6 weeks somewhere in the middle of round 2. I expect him I don't expect him to see that. I would put it at 7 or 8, right? Because of what you said, because of the player, which puts them in the Eastern Conference Finals, which they probably have the potential to do that even without Robert Williams, depending on the seeding. Back to your opening take. I agree that you shouldn't fuck around with winning. However, I think that Al Horford is a guy that should rest as much as possible down the stretch. I think Jaylen Brown has a knee thing that if you can decrease his minutes, that helps you. Same with Tatum, just to be fresh for the playoffs. So if you can take those guys from 30 to 34 minutes a night and play them 20 to 20, 24 to 28, and that means that you lose 2 or 3 games in the process, and that means you get the 3 seed or the 4 seed where you might have got the 1 or 2 seed. That's what I would say where you're manipulating the seeding. Like, I don't want them to go tank. I don't expect them to pull a Toronto and not throw any of their starters out there for the rest of the year.
But that's what it sounds like. That's what the media's up here saying. Is
no. You have to
call it like green teamers. It's stupid.
You have to manipulate it in what I just said. You have to limit the minutes for those 4 guys and Marcus Smart if you want to play that game. And for your starter, limit the minutes for those starters. And if that equates to losses, like against the Heat tonight, so be it, because you're not going to fall below 4. You, eat the fucking cookie, Ray. You're not going to fall below 4. You're going to have home court at least in round 1, and that's a favorable matchup. You should win that. And then you're looking at Philly or Milwaukee in round 2. Hopefully you get Philly because Milwaukee's a juggernaut, and Philly's fucking trash, in my opinion. You just have to get through Embiid, and you could probably do that without Robert Williams. I don't know if you get past the Bucks without Robert Williams, and I would not fault them if they didn't. You just hope for a favorable matchup in the second round. So that's what I mean by manipulating the seeding. Just limit those guys' minutes, and if that means you lose, then that means you lose.
But the people here, like, you'll hear them call into like 98.5 EI, all those stations, and they're basically saying you got to tank games so we can get Toronto, which I don't even think that's a favorable matchup, because they did a report today out of the 4 top Eastern Conference teams. Milwaukee and I believe Miami, they're all vaccinated. And then they asked Philly and Boston, and they said no comment, meaning there's some players on Boston that aren't vaccinated. And if you're not vaccinated, you're not playing in Toronto. So I don't even think Toronto would be a great matchup.
I don't think Al Horford's vaccinated. I think that's why he got the personal day.
I don't think Jaylen Brown is either. He hasn't played in Toronto yet this year either.
Maybe not. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that shook out. And it would be a big story one way or another. I would expect them to kind of pull the trigger and get the shot if that was the case. But either way, we don't do politics on the show. That they should win against Toronto. They should win against Cleveland. They should win against Chicago. They're better than them with or without Robert Williams. You start talking to me about the Bucks, that's a different story. I give the Bucks the edge there pretty handily.
I think the Bucks is the only one that I would give the edge over any team that they would play in the second round.
Without Robert Williams.
I think they can beat Miami without Robert Williams. I think they can beat Philly without Robert Williams.
I think they can. I just I don't think they can beat the Bucks. I think they can beat everybody else.
Exactly.
If they lost to Philly, if they lost to Miami in that second round without Robert Williams, depending on how it looked, if it went 6-7 games and it was competitive, and you notice the difference in Robert Williams, then okay, I guess it sucks to have the injury. But how about Tice? How much?
What did I say to you when we traded for him?
I don't remember.
They reminded me of the 2003 Detroit Pistons.
Oh,
Remember I
Jesus
said how they're
Christ.
building
That's right. Oh, fucking Christ. Bill would have remembered.
Yeah.
Bill would have remembered. He almost shot you for it.
No, I don't think it's that, but I think he can
How
still...
much of Robert Williams is Daniel Tice? And I'll give you what Daniel Tice does that Robert Williams does. He has a little bit of a lob effect. He's a good passer. And he has some ability around the rim as a rim protector. Those are the three things he has in common. He's a much better perimeter shooter than Robert Williams. Robert Williams doesn't shoot. And he can handle the ball a little bit. He's a better pick and roll player than Robert Williams, up top, pick and pop player. So he's got some attributes that are a little bit better than Robert Williams. But in those three categories, defending the rim, lob threat, and what else did I say? Offensive rebounding. I forget what else I said.
Passive.
He's a good passer too. But those are three: offensive rebound, lob threat, and defending the rim. Like, what percentage of Rob Williams is Daniel Tice?
What you mean Daniel Tice is like probably 25% of Robert Williams.
25?
I don't do numbers well.
25. Holy shit.
The only reason why I say that is because
scrub. I'm 25% of Robert. You're
Robert
25% of
Robert Williams is gelling well with the starting five. I think Tice is a more secondary
Tice has
player.
Played 3 years with these guys.
Yeah, but
they went to an Eastern Conference Finals with Tice as a starting center.
Yeah,
I'm not I thought that trade Dennis Schrader for Tice was a good trade. I think Brad Stevens has made a team where you're seeing it now, where a guy like Robert Williams goes down and you have his replacement in Daniel Tice because he does similar things. He's not 25% of Robert Williams, maybe 65%.
That's what I meant.
55 maybe. 65. Is Daniel Tice half the player of Robert Williams? I think he's more than half the player of Robert Williams.
At least half. At least half.
He's 65%. Let's call him 65% of Robert Williams.
Okay. I like that.
I think that's fair. 69% of Robert Williams.
No, that's too high.
Okay, fine. 60, 66.
Let's go 64 because we can round down to 60 in case we don't, it doesn't look good.
Okay, fair enough. But it still means that a lot of other guys are going to have to step up. Grant Williams is, I think, going to probably get the starting position in that. I expect Jason Tatum to play some power forward because of that. He's used to it. He played like basically all of last year and the year before as power forward, and he's put on some muscle and bulk, so he should be able to do that. That means Peyton Pritchard's going to get more time. That means Derek White's going to get more time. And that means Aaron Peach Baskets Neesmith, who actually hit some fucking threes in that game in Toronto.
You looked good the other night. Yeah.
When guys get time and they get rhythm, they sometimes look okay.
Even on defense, though, he looked pretty good.
His main factor is defense. He's a nut.
No, he was the best. He was the best shooter in the draft.
My apologies.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, we fell off the rails a little bit on that one. So what's your... Okay, let's finish. Let's bring it all back to form. Final predictions. Predictions suck, but I don't know. Are you bummed out on this Celtics run? Do you still expect them to make a run here without Robert Williams, or even if they get him back late in this playoff run?
Yeah, I think Eastern Conference Finals should be the main objective for this team still. I don't think that losing Robert Williams is going to be that much of a factor until the Eastern Conference Finals. So hopefully he can come back by then, but I don't think this is going to be that much of a detour for this team.
Yeah, I just think, think we have to be careful with where we say the cutoff is, because I think it depends on the team. We've talked about that. Like because the standings are so wacky. Like if you end up with the Nets in the second round and you lose to them because you don't have Robert Williams, and it just, even if you had Robert Williams and you lost to the Nets because KD and Kyrie go off, they're better. Those guys are better than your players. So I wouldn't give them that much of. I wouldn't give them too hard of a time. I will if they got blown out, if they got swept by the Nets or something, then yeah, we can shit on them. If they lost a tough series to the Nets or the Bucks, then I'm not going to give them too hard of a time, whether that's in the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals. I guess that's how I'll put it. But yeah, they should be able to beat every other team, and if they don't, then it's a failure.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Take a quick break. We'll come right back with some Patriots thoughts.
Trying something new here.
What?
It says, "Could Rich actually play clips on the show?"
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Simple Minds Sports Show. Robert Kraft puts Belichick on blast, puts him on notice. I don't know if there's enough being made. I know that it's made national headlines. Maybe it is a big enough story, but Robert Kraft basically just called out his head coach.
ESPN ran it today on SportsCenter. I was watching SportsCenter before we started recording, and they brought it up. They were talking about Robert Kraft pretty much giving Bill, like, this is like your objective this year, and if you don't reach it, you could be gone.
Do you think so obviously they jettison Brady, he goes, you bring in Cam Newton, you go 7-9, it's a train wreck. Brady wins the Super Bowl, you spend $163 million in the offseason, you draft Mac Jones, you get 10 wins, you go to the playoffs, get your doors blown off, and then this offseason you sit on your fucking hands.
Well, don't forget about 2018 either. That's Tom Brady's last year, or 2019 rather. Sorry, that was Tom Brady's last year, and they lost to the Titans.
Yeah, I think that that's a little bit of hyperbole for him to talk about that year.
But he did talk about it. He said we haven't won in 3 years now. He's bringing that up. So
I know, but if Brady was here, he wouldn't say that. I think that the last 2 years are the problem, and my greater question is not just the last 2 years; it's this off season. And the way, not only the lack of movement that Belichick has had in the free agency, which Kraft spoke about, which we can play some things here, but also his coaching staff, which Robert Kraft was asked about specifically, and he sounded like baffled. Like literally, it's like what his exact quote was something like, "You're saying I don't have a coaching staff?" And then he kind of caught himself and went on to say, look, Belichick does things a unique way, and anybody that uses unique in that situation is just saying they don't know how to explain it. It's fucking dumb. And hopefully it works because I'm results oriented.
It's like when your in-laws, that's like when your in-laws come over and your wife explains why you're on the couch. Well, he had a rough night, and don't really want to say he's a fucking degenerate asshole alcoholic.
No, he might I think his stomach's hurting him. Let me see if I can do this right. Tell me if you can see what I'm about to play. Little Robert Kraft here.
Yeah.
All right, let's play it. Here's I got a couple here. Here's first words from Robert Kraft.
After my family, there's nothing more important to me than the New England Patriots and football games. That's my passion. So whatever I can do, hopefully in a small way, to make that happen, I'm here. I'm not happy that we haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. So I think about that a lot.
How about that? Right there in your face. I'm not happy we haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. I think about that a lot. Is that not putting his head coach completely on blast?
I mean, if you went to your job and they said, I haven't been happy with your performance in the last 3 years, what would you take that as? Oh shit, I'm on the hot seat. I need to fucking get my shit together and get to that where my boss would be happy with me right now. That is what that sounded like right there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a fact that Robert Kraft, since he's owned the Patriots, has not gone 4 years without winning a playoff game.
Yeah.
So that's on the agenda right there as well. All right, let's see if I can continue to make this work. You see Robert?
I see Robert.
Ah, look at me. All right, go ahead. Speak up, Robert. I don't want
Tamara Brown. You might be a good guest, but not right now.
I go back to 01. We definitely didn't have the best headlines, the best talent, but we had the best team. And they came together. And that taught me a lot, that the chemistry of what goes on, no matter, and the intellect of the people you come in and who have to understand your system. Just because a guy has a record over here that goes to another place doesn't ensure success. But we'll see. I think Bill has a unique way of doing things. It's worked out pretty well up to now. So I know what I don't know, and I try to stay out of the way of things I don't know. I think he's pretty good. Over 40 years of experience doing it. So it doesn't sometimes look straight line to our fans or to myself, but I'm results oriented.
God, I just made myself a lot of editing. Straight
you did.
line. That's not a straight line process for Mr. Bill Belichick. Does things in unique ways. We just touched on it. Look, I don't know how else you want to take these comments from Robert Kraft, other than he's results oriented. He wants a win in the playoffs.
It's the result that he is giving right now is that I chose the wrong person. I should have kept Tom over Bill.
Do you think it's that? Like, I don't think anything's black and white, and I certainly don't think this one's black and white. But you can feel the remorse. Do you think he's all the way there? Like, I don't think that the relationship between Kraft and Belichick is broken.
Nah.
But they together decided to let Brady walk. Kraft can't
but he
put
will.
all the blame on Bill. It's his. Well, he's trying to. Let me see if I can pull up that. I want to get to that draft question. He's trying to, and he's trying to on the playoff stuff, on the draft stuff.
He's playing it like I'm just the owner. I just sign the checks. I don't really go. I let Bill do whatever he wants to do. That's what I'm taking from this whole interview.
There's just two things about that, Robert. Number one is you let Brady walk. You could have paid him. You could have overrode Belichick and paid Brady and gave him what he wanted. And maybe Belichick walks, maybe he doesn't. I bet you he doesn't. People think that he's a stubborn mule and would have left. I bet you
he stays.
He's pretty fucking comfortable in Nantucket.
Mm-hmm.
And also, your point, Ray, you write the checks. You wrote 163 million of them last year, and you've wrote none of them this year. That's on you, bud. That's on you, Robert. Yeah. All right? So we know that they are right in the middle of the pack in terms of cash spent on their players or in the NFL, on the NFL teams, not in cap, but in actual money given. And I had this thought the other day that I think it was Andrew Callahan wrote that thing in the Herald about the Patriots setting up themselves for next year with 103 million in cap space.
Yeah.
You can push. Look, you can sign like the Browns just did it. They're paying Deshaun Watson $1 million this year. He's owed $230 million. Yeah. You can sign a guy this year and put his cap space on next year. You just got to pay him a little bit of cash.
Yeah. You can go up there and sign coaches too. You can go sign some offensive coordinators that know what the fuck they're doing.
You can find fucking Billy O'Brien. They don't count on the cap, but you got to pay him.
Yeah.
And hey, how about instead of paying $20 million to Belichick as a coach, let's give 10 of that to Russell Gage as a wide receiver. How about that? How about that? If he can't coach up these fucking guys, how about you start losing it out of your check, Bill? So I think that's what he's kind of talking about here. But don't let him off the hook too much. Don't let Robert Kraft off the hook too much because he's not paying the cash this year. And he let Brady walk just as much as Belichick let Brady walk. So remember that, people. I don't have the draft quote, the draft clip here, but sorry. He talks about the draft. And he talks about having to have a good draft this year, and specifically says we didn't have a good draft the 4 years prior. Last year we had a good draft, and then he says, what he says is he tries to say we had a good draft, and he catches himself and says the staff had a good draft and did a good job. He's giving himself credit for taking power away from Belichick last year, giving it to Dave Ziegler and his staff, and saying to the media, indirectly to Bill, your last 4 years were trash. I stepped in, and we've had a good draft.
Yep.
And that's obvious to me. You can disagree if you want. My question is, does that mean that Robert Kraft is stepping in again this year and letting Elliott Wolf and those guys do their work, or is it saying, all right, Bill, I did my draft for last year, and it was good. We got good guys. Mac Jones, Mondre Stevenson, Barmore. Now it's back in your hands this year. You better have a good fucking draft, dude. You better have a good draft because
you'll be able to tell
playoff game in 3 years, and you haven't drafted fucking well until I put my foot in the door.
But you'll be able to know because if the Patriots trade out of the first round, then Bill's back in the driver's seat.
That's a good.
That's how you'll know if Bill's back in the. This is my draft. I'm going to do things my way.
That's kind of a good. Yeah, it's a good point. All right, you want to end on a positive note? You want to hear what Robert had to say about Mac?
I'd love to.
Okay, let's try and do this. Here's Bill Kraft on Mac Jones.
Like I come in there sometimes on the weekend or he's there working out, watching film, just doing things that I wouldn't believe someone of his background would have that kind of commitment given his past. And the guys in the locker room really like him, all the guys. You know, he's just, and you know, I actually believe he has a little more edge than seen, but he's been respectful of coming in as a rookie. So I'm very high on him, and I think we really, staff did a great job drafting him. We're lucky to have him for our future.
That was a little bit of the cut I was talking about.
Yeah.
We really did the staff did a really good job drafting him. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
Should we replay that?
Sure.
I think we really, staff did a great.
What's that, Robert?
The staff did a great job.
Oh, is it the staff?
I think we really, the staff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the staff. The staff. That's right. Yeah. The staff did. Yeah, no. You had you had absolutely no part in Mac Jones coming to the Patriots. Nope.
Not him.
That's that. I mean, I don't know. Shots fired. Is it gonna end? All right. So what do we think if Belichick goes out there? So look, they're right now looking at a potential third place finish in the division, missing the playoffs. Worst case scenario, falling under 500, possibly drastically under 500. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm on the side of things that Mac Jones is going to be really good. I think Mac Jones is going to have a really good year.
You're positive. You're a positive energy kind of guy right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in my nature. I just have a little bit of a gut feeling that offense is going to tick up because of Mac Jones. I do have faith in Mac Jones. I do. I think he's a heady guy that can run this offense. Maybe Joe Judge and Matt Patricia drag him down. That's a possibility. But if they miss the playoffs, if they get blown out let's say they miss the playoffs. Let's say they have an okay year but miss the playoffs.
What's an okay year? What's an okay year? I need a record.
I don't know, 9 and
8.
9 and 8 and missed the playoffs.
But where are you in the AFC East? Second or third?
Second.
Okay, so the Dolphins didn't make it in before you.
No.
A positive year. For what everyone else did around the AFC, and if you go 9 and 8, above 500,
does Kraft look at it that way?
I think so. I think he would.
I disagree. I think he wants a playoff win. I think since I gave you $163 million last year, go get a fucking playoff win. I pay you $20 million a year to make up for a shitty roster and your stupid coaching decisions. Go get a playoff win. Draft a guy top 15. Go get a fucking playoff win.
I don't think that's in the cards this year. And I think I think Robert needs to be realistic on the fact that they didn't go out and spend any money. I mean, the biggest signing we had is Jabril Peppers. I got to get that right before headlines, but yeah, that's the big signing, and it's a 1-year deal. That's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, they didn't sign shit, and they let people walk. But they spent money last year. Look,
that was last year. That's not this year.
Whether Robert thinks that or Bill thinks that, I think you can't take a step back for Mac Jones, for the Patriots. You can't take a step back. So even if that means 9 and 8 and it was a better 9 and 8 than 10 and 7 this year, I can look. It'll be quote unquote Kraft results oriented. Let me see what that 9 and 8 looks like.
Yeah, of course.
And if you miss the playoffs, but no, I think you have to continue making steps forward with this team and Mac Jones. You can't take a step back and wait to load up again next year. You have to continue making steps forward. You can't be an 8-win, 7-win, 6-win team. That's out of the question. I gave you the basement level of success. You
Yeah.
have to be 9, 10, 11 wins, knocking on the door of the playoffs, knocking on the door of a win. That's where you need to be. You have to be making strides forward.
Yeah.
And Robert Kraft just laid that out for everybody.
We'll see.
All right, let's kick it over to headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you, Richard. Robert Williams underwent surgery to repair his torn meniscus. The Celtics have set his timetable for return at 4 to 6 weeks. In other news, the Celtics also believe leprechauns are real, and Danny Ainge still has a plan for the horde of draft picks that he once had. Robert Kraft, speaking to the media at the NFL owners meeting, gave Bill Belichick a verbal spanking. He was quoted as saying, I'm a New England Patriots fan. This ain't no cuckold organization like the Rebs. I really don't ask for much. Playoff wins, the admiration from everyone who knows me, and secret handies from lovely Asians. End quote. Robert Kraft. Same day, Bill Belichick signed Jabril Peppers, an injured journeyman.
You failed. You failed on that. It was.
I know.
You're in the headlines now, and you didn't get that.
Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers. Nope.
Yeah.
I didn't get either.
Jabril. What syllables is that? Formerly employed by the incompetent Joe Judge, but he is mediocre at 5 different positions. The Bruins PP'd down their leg against Toronto on Tuesday night. Ray Serdamus doesn't do hockey, but me think they win a big game against the Devils. The Bruins remain a tight race to stay out of the wild card position. It is a tight race. I'm done. The Red Sox will break camp next week. Opening day is April 7th. Nathan Eovaldi will be on the mound for the local 9. And Billy Baseball prediction 80 wins for this Red Sox team because his hate is the only emotion he knows, and rage.
Holy shit. Let me do those last go. The Red Sox will break camp next week. The opening day is April 7th. Nathan Eovaldi will be on the mound for the local 9.
So
Billy Baseball prediction is 80 wins for the Red Sox team because his – oh, yeah, no, I wrote that wrong.
See? I had to catch myself, dink.
Billy Baseball's prediction is 80 wins for the Red Sox because the only emotion that he has is hate and rage, unless fat shaming is an emotion. Yeah, no,
this has been the headlines with the obvious one. Back to you, Richard. See, you wrote it wrong, you dink. How dare
yeah,
you?
no, I wrote that wrong. I had to write that wrong.
You did it
Sometimes
twice.
what I'll do is I'll write in a someone I've read this before in journalist things where you just stream of thought and then you go back and edit. That's an example of I didn't go back and edit that one. I didn't get back there to edit. I didn't get back there to make those changes on that one. The exact line read, Billy Baseball is prediction 80 wins for this Red Sox team because he's hate is the only emotion he knows. And rage is fat shaming emotion. You know what also is the thing I was trying to do? I was trying to get you to read like an actual baby. I almost made you do it. But in the
if
the
you don't put
Bruins,
it in the quotes, I don't do it.
the Bruins pee down their leg against Toronto in Tuesday night. Waste of Thomas doesn't do hockey.
That's why I was like, what the fuck is Wasterdamus?
I was trying to subconsciously
me.
get you to fucking read like a baby.
My fault.
No. I would have been better
no.
if you just did it. I'll make you read like a baby on purpose somewhere down the line. Speaking of babies, baseball is back. Red Sox opening day roster. We don't have Billy Baseball here. He's definitely home by now, but he's not checked in. So
He is jerking off with 45 minutes and 5 tabs open right now.
Yep. So let's just do a quick Red Sox opening day roster. I have the lineup, the starting 9. I didn't bother getting the bench because they have extended rosters and we don't know exactly here's who's going to be there. Christian Arroyo will be there and whoever else. Okay. So we're doing the starting 9 in the lineup and then the rotation and that'll be about that. They open up next Thursday as this airs, and our next show on this stuff will be the Friday.
The Yankees. Yeah,
will be the Friday after. So yeah, we'll have some things to say about that opening day. But here's your lineup, and Alex Cora basically gave us this lineup in the last game they played against the Braves on Wednesday that they won 10-7. They've been cleaning up in the fucking spring training, so you know that means title contenders. But at leadoff in center field, he has Kike Hernandez. Hitting second at third base, Rafael Devers. At shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. in third. The cleanup position at DH, Mr. JD himself. Alex Verdugo in left field hitting fifth. And the newest addition, $23 million man himself, Trevor Story, hitting sixth at second base. Bobby, Mr. 200 Dahlbeck, at first base, hitting seventh. JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr., back in Boston, in right field, hitting eighth. And Christian Vasquez, holding down the catcher position, hitting ninth.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Let me
yeah.
interrupt you. When we did our show last week, wasn't this almost the exact same lineup that you said that was going to be the opening day roster?
Toot, toot. Bill was very angry with me.
Very angry.
He did not like that. And I think I may have had Bogarts at second and Devers at third. However, I underestimated the Nerds' need for a left-right combination in baseball.
And
there you go. There's a story on this either in The Athletic or maybe Maz wrote it at 98.5.
Maz wrote this, yeah.
The Red Sox management, as they call it, quote unquote, management, not the manager, management believes that putting Trevor Story behind Verdugo gives them a really solid left-right combination 1 through 6 in the lineup. And that means what? Because pitchers come in and pitchers come out and blah, 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 blah. I'll say this. I will toot and say this was the lineup. I only said it based on the information that I was reading from what people were covering of the team. It's not like I wanted it or predicted it.
No, you put your glasses on and you were a nerd yourself and you said, I can see the light. I know this is going to be. Yeah.
But I agree with Bill. You pay a guy $23 million a year, put him at the top of the fucking lineup, not sixth. Can Trevor Story
we'll edit this out, right? Edit this out.
Yeah,
you don't ever want to go with Bill. Yeah.
Can Trevor Story not do what Kike Hernandez does? I mean, I get Kike Hernandez was really good for this team last year. Nice spark plug, added really good power at the leadoff position, which is not seen a lot of in baseball. But Trevor Story's fast. He hits for average. We'll see what he does out of Colorado, of course. But fuck your right, left fucking lineups, Cord. Jesus Christ. I like Verdugo, but he's streaky and he's he's liable to hit fucking 250 this year. Like,
is this Cora though? You said Cora. Cora's lineup.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's
not Cora's lineup.
Nerds.
It's the Nerds telling him where everyone's gonna go in the batting order.
I hate Trevor Story at sixth. I hate it.
Do you think that lasts past July though?
I don't think it lasts past the first week. Like,
really?
I mean,
you think it's gonna be that quick?
Drop Verdugo. Like, there's a big difference in baseball between the fifth hitter and the sixth hitter, just in your psyche. Like, you're the sixth hitter, you're the bottom 9 of the lineup.
Yeah,
you're the bottom 9. Like, and I think Alex Cora was quoted as saying is Trevor Story adds speed that they can alleviate. They can bring to the line bottom of the lineup, and he adds power and hitting to the bottom of the lineup. Great. So does Kike. He's just not as good of a hitter. Put your better hitter at the top of the lineup. It's just baseball because he gets more at bats. Because it goes the lineup goes like this and it comes around. And by the time you get to the 9th inning, that sixth hitter generally doesn't get a chance to hit. But the number 1 hitter does.
What about the nerd factor that you were talking about that Trevor Story out of Colorado isn't that great of a hitter?
Well, I guess we'll find out, but I don't think
that's what they're taking into consideration, being like, all right, his numbers outside of Colorado, maybe we should drop him to 6, see how that goes.
Maybe, but you don't sign a guy $23 million out of Colorado not thinking he can hit.
Or are you John Henry signing a $23 million player because you've heard the fans bitching that you haven't signed anyone?
Better point. And if that's the case, then maybe that's why he's hitting 6th. But I don't think that's the case. I think John Henry's in fucking Pittsburgh and Liverpool. I don't even think he knows who's starting for his Red Sox team right now.
No,
I don't think he does. So I think it's a baseball decision. I think it's a nerd baseball decision. And
I mean, if nerds are taking over that much, I think that factor has to come into play. So they're looking at the away batting averages, be like, all right, maybe he's not as great as he is. Let's take time, see how he does in the AL East now, and see where we can go with it.
Yeah. I mean, Bill's probably better to speak to this because I've watched a lot of fucking Colorado Rockies baseball. But if Trevor Story is as good as people say he is and his numbers say he is, then he'll end up at the top of the lineup sooner rather than later. And Kike will be the guy that lands in 5th or 6th spot in the lineup. And God forbid you have 2 right-handed hitters back to back and Verdugo has to slip to 6th. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Speaking of Jesus, Nathan Eovaldi will be taking the mound on opening day. My Nathan Eovaldi. How fucking right was I in the Red Sox last year, and how wrong was Bill? That's something
100%.
that's not talked about.
As Bill would say, 100%.
My guys were Nathan Eovaldi and Nick Pivetta, and those guys carried that staff last year to an ALCS, which I had them winning the division. They didn't win the division, but they beat the Yankees in the play-in.
You had them going to the World Series.
All right. You're right. I failed. You're right. Nathan Eovaldi shouldn't have question marks around him anymore. The guy's legit. He'll pitch 4 really fucking good games in a row and then have a dud and then pitch 4 really good games in a row. Nick Pivetta will pitch 2 really good games in a row, have an iffy, then pitch a dud. He's a little bit less consistent, but his stuff is there. And then behind him, you have the old balls in Waka 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 and Rich Hill.
I forgot they signed Rich Hill because that was before the strike.
Bill was so against Rich Hill, and I wasn't. He's 42 or 43 or whatever he is.
This is Bill's age.
But yeah. So he knows what those bones feel like.
Yeah.
But he had a fucking nasty year last year. He was with the Rays, I believe. He had a couple good years before that, and he's been with the Red Sox system before. I get he's old, but if he can be your 4th guy in your lineup and just eat innings as a lefty, in the way that they're playing it now, 4 or 5 innings a clip as your 4th guy, why not? And Michael Wacha Mass has a good article on this too in 98.5, talking about his stuff and the way that he came out in the bigs, and his first 3 years were lights out. The guy was nasty, had some injuries, has fallen off. If the Red Sox nerds can tap into that guy and get some of his shit back, his potential's there. It's absolutely there. So we'll see. I don't want to call him the next. Oh my God, my brain just froze. Who's the fucking Coke guy last year?
Bill Gately.
Garrett Richards. I don't want to call Michael Wacha the next Garrett Richards because Wacha's, I think, a better career pitcher than Richards. But that reminds me of that kind of signing. It could come and go throughout the season.
Can I explain something real quick? I thought you said Coke guy, not coat guy.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah.
That's why I said Bill Gately real quick. It's just...
Do we know a bigger Coke guy? It's gotta be. Last chance for pussy. Someone in that bar had to have been a bigger Coke guy.
Fuck yeah. That guy was probably sprung up on Coke.
Last chance for pussy. Ray and I were with some friends in New Orleans, and we were in the gay district eating some hungover breakfast, and it was a downpour, and there was this dive bar, and we were just kind of walking by or walking towards, and some guy ran out with a cat and yelled, "Last chance for pussy," and we knew that was where we needed to go. So yeah, there's some Coke guys in there. I don't know about Coke guys, but Coke guys, yep. And in your 5th spot of the lineup, you're looking at Garrett Whitlock, Tanner Houck, or the Winkowski kid. I think they got off the Yankees last year. There's a couple spot starters that might go in there. I personally think Alex Cora wants Garrett Whitlock back in that position he was before in the bullpen, as a bulk guy or end of the game guy, someone that he can bounce around. I personally think that's where he will end up eventually in the season.
Yeah, I think it's Houck. I just hope it is because that's just a fun name to say. Houck. And Bill always says never trust a guy with a vowel at the end of his name, so I'm not going with the Winkowski kid.
Racist.
That's what Bill says. I'm just saying what Bill says.
No, that's fair. I expect Whitlock back in the bullpen. And just a little bit, one last Red Sox nugget. Chris Sale is expected to start throwing this week after he cracked his rib and still can't pitch in Toronto. So we'll see how that turns out. Quick afternoon delight. We'll be back with a quick Bruins minute.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Bruins laid an absolute egg. And normally, Ray, I would not really blink twice at this. Everyone has a bad game from time to time, but this was against the Maple Leafs, who are in your division, who you were fighting to stay out of the wild card position, and you dropped 2 points against them. You're 2 points, as we record this, you're 2 points behind them, 87 to 89 right now. You're in the wild card spot. And if you want to have a chance at any type of run, you have to avoid that Florida Panthers team as long as possible, because they're one of the best, if not the best team in the league, never mind the East, but they have fucking dominated you, absolutely annihilated you all season. Even going into last season, they played you tough. And you go out there and your defense just cacas, peed in the headlines, peed down the leg of themselves. And David Pastrnak, who scored a goal, continues to turn the fucking puck over at an alarming rate in big games. I'm not going to toot on my take of David Pastrnak not showing up when needed most, but that game on Tuesday night and showed me a lot of confidence. It wasn't his fault. The defense lost in that game.
I was gonna say, it was a defense.
They
The
look
defense
like
looked like
absolute shit. I'm Bill's not here, so I'm taking it. I'm taking this opportunity to shit on Pastrnak when he
because you don't have to worry about getting murdered. All right, I get you.
He didn't have he just had some fucking terrible, stupid fucking turnovers again. But no, it was the defense. It was the defense, and they put Lindholm down with Carlo for a good amount of time, and the statistics will bear out that Brendan Carlo blows.
Well, why would you switch them up? Why would you switch the Lindholm and McAvoy lineup like that?
I'm okay
Especially
with
when you
that.
get your doors blown out. Like, I would just try to.
I'm okay with them taking a new guy in Lindholm and pairing him up with their second pairing just to see what it looks like, but probably not in a division game when you're fighting to stay out of the wild card spot.
That's what I'm
You've
saying.
Seen how good Lindholm and McAvoy are. They're a top pairing. I mean, they are a really, really good.
They're a shutdown D. They're a shutdown D pairing.
Not even just shutdown. They are both. They're a top D pairing in the NHL. They can score, they can push, they can stop, they can do everything. So, look, I understand the you want to see your new guy with some other pairings, but like against in that game,
not against Toronto, not when you're down 6-1. No.
I'll just say this: they scored 6 goals on you, and you look like shit. You scored 4. So in years past. Last year specifically, I would say you probably have no shot against Toronto but this forward group for the Bruins and this offense is a little bit different. They have 3 lines that can contribute and that can score. If Jake DeBrusk, who scored again, can continue to be there and a contributor on that top line, Pastrnak continues to bury pucks, Taylor Hall continues to be the contributor and distributor, and Coyle and Smith and those guys do their thing, then I'll give the edge to the Bruins winning games 3-4, 5-4, 5-3 against Toronto, because I like Swayman better than the Mesrek. Who's
that's the worst position on that team.
Walking turnstile waiting to happen, and their defense is nothing to sniff at. So yeah, their forwards are nasty. I mean, they got. That's
what they're built for. They're built to win games 6-5, 6-4.
And let's not forget the history that Boston has with Toronto, and Toronto landed on our loser city list a long time ago, basically because the Maple Leafs are such losers. So keep that in mind. Okay, right back with simplest minds of the week.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
I got 2 for you. I don't know if you wanted to add to this list.
Oh, I gave you 1. I gave you the first one. I totally agree with that.
You didn't give me. You didn't.
I didn't give it to you, but
one.
Bill, myself, and you were in the text exchange.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
the simplest mind of this week comes from the Oscars. It's one Mr. Will Smith himself. I'll give you my take on it, or you can listen to Tuesday's show with our conversation with Whitney Ingram and T-Nuts there. I almost called her T-Sack. With T-Nuts. I gave a pretty adamant opinion about Will Smith, but what a dick. I'll let you speak on a Ray, because I don't think you got a chance to in that interview. What a fucking idiot. What an
The thing I don't like the most is that he thought the joke was funny until he looked at his wife rolling her eyes. Then he knew, oh fuck, she's pissed. I need to step up for my woman who has more dicks in her than Bill had dicks in his asshole back when he went down to Tennessee earlier this year. So yeah, that's one of those things where it's just like, and the people that are saying it's staged, these are the same people that are conspiracy theorists that put tinfoil hats on. It's not staged. He was pissed. He was stepping up for his wife, but I think it was bad. It makes Will Smith look really bad, like a dink.
I don't think it was staged.
I don't either.
I understand why people think that way, because nothing can be trusted anymore. But I've paid a little bit of attention to the aftermath of it, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like that, and I don't think the Oscars and the Academy has it in them to pull. Maybe the Golden Globes.
Yes,
I don't think the Oscars have that in them to dip to that level, because it is like everything in this world. It is split 50-50 mostly. Well, maybe not. I think more people are against Will Smith then, but there's enough people supporting him that it's a thing, that you stand up for your wife, you stand up for your woman. Like, first of all, okay, stand up for your wife and your woman if someone's insulting them. Are you gonna go fight somebody because someone made a joke about your wife? Jesus, there are millions of husbands in this world who have been in that situation, that number one, their wife is like, don't be an idiot. Number two, in their minds, like, this is exactly what went through Will Smith's head. I know I shouldn't do this. Does my wife think I should do this? What would a real man do, quote unquote? I got to go smack this bitch. Like, that's what went through his fucking head, even though he knew he shouldn't have, because everybody knows you shouldn't. That's just dumb.
What gone through my head would have been this. Ha, that was funny. Look at my wife and be like,
That's the first thing that went through his head, because you know why? Because Chris Rock made it was easy, stupid joke about her hair. She has alopecia, not cancer.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like, she doesn't have hair. You know what else I saw, which made me laugh out loud? I saw a headline: Charlie Villanueva in support of Will Smith.
I did not see that. That made me laugh out loud.
I should have sent it to you guys. Charlie Villanueva, ex-UConn basketball player. I think he made it to the NBA.
Oh, yeah, he played for a while in the NBA.
Okay.
Detroit.
Famously was hairless with, I guess it was alopecia. I kind of.
But he has no eyebrows. He has no eyebrows.
Like,
no facial hair.
I'm
nothing.
sure he went through hell as a kid, and people making fun of him.
Garnett made fun of him. Remember that game?
Oh,
yeah, he made that.
No, I remember. But for him to go, I'm in support of Will. Think of how this is the Simple Mind Sports Show. He needs to come on the show and explain like his reasoning. So Chris Rock makes fun. So if he made fun of Jada Pinkett Smith for anything other than alopecia, would Charlie Villanueva have been on Will Smith's side?
Nope.
No, it's just because you got a fucking alopecia problem. So it's just, no matter what, I'm fucking team alopecia. Like, what?
So, wait,
what
is there different?
Idiot. I changed my vote. I put Charlie Villanueva on the top of the simplest minds of the week.
That's fine, but I need to know: is there different forms of it? Because he has
no idea.
He has nothing. He has no it's like.
I would assume so. I think she's probably been losing hair,
because he has no eyebrows, no facial hair.
Maybe was
now. Does that go? But does that go down to the chesticles and to the ball throw?
Hard to say. It would be nice to have him on the show. Why don't you get on that media?
All right,
manager?
I'll be on that.
Hit up Charlie. The other one, just really quickly, that I had was just the Lakers as a whole, or if you want to put LeBron on this. They gave up 82 points in the first half to the Mavs on Tuesday night. They are a shit show, an absolute debacle. If I could just give a real quick toot again, I did not want Anthony Davis.
Watch the shoulder, Rich.
I did not want Anthony Davis trade to the Celtics years ago when Danny Ainge was trying to pull that off with Tatum and Jalen and those guys, and he probably would have if that Rose rule wasn't in effect with Kyrie Irving he couldn't get Anthony Davis because Kyrie Irving was on the team. Something about an MVP and within the first 5 years, whatever the fucking Rose Rule is.
Douchebag rule.
I didn't want that guy because he's a loser and an injury waiting to happen, and you're just seeing it now. You are seeing it now at the Lakers. What a shit show.
No, I totally agree. And they're out of the playoffs right now. If you look at the standings, they are about to miss the playoffs, and that is a star-studded team. And I love how the fact that LA is looking like an embarrassment out there. Clippers and Lakers both look like shit.
Absolute gross. And Russell Westbrook, of course, went off on another reporter for
Well, of course,
questioning his lack of being able to win.
Fashion. Oh.
All right, Raymond, let's end the show. I have down here Soccer Minute because the United States men's national team qualified for the World Cup, more or less. But you wanted to talk about Wrestlemania. So you have 1 minute to talk about Wrestlemania and then the soccer team. Go ahead.
Thank you, Richard. Wrestlemania is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday event, 2-night special. Big matches: Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. You got Cody Rhodes facing Seth Rollins. Ronda Rousey's back in the ring against Charlotte Flair. It's going to be a good one. 2 nights of it. It's a full week of Wrestlemania. It's a pro wrestling fan's dream right now, so it's nice. And I finished that in less than a minute.
Very good. And anything to say about the United States men's national team overpaid cuckolds?
Yeah, they're back in the World Cup.
We've just run out of time, Ray. So I'm sorry we're gonna get to the soccer minute, but this has been the Simple Minds Sports Show Friday Rewind, April 1st, April Fool's Day. We'll see you on Tuesday for our conversation with Whitney Ingram and Girls Throw 2
T-nuts.
T-nuts.
Tomato nuts.
Tomato nuts and Miss Tomato Nuts. You're not
Miss
gonna
Tomato
want to
Nuts.
not gonna miss that one. See you on Tuesday. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
I got something troubling on my mind. I got something troubling on my mind. I got something loaded outside.
Just feet outside. Some clattering around in the woods out back frightened me for a minute.
There was a lot of dogs barking when I went out.
Got a lot of deer. God, goddamn internet, Raymond.
What happened?
You're frozen.
I know, but I don't understand. It was going so well.
Your mic looks great. You're frozen in a blur of fat.
Well, what else am I going to do? Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Don't move. No sudden movements from you.
You got it. Oop.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry.
God. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. A lot of deer by me, which is gross. Do you guys have... Are you just gone? God fucking...
No, I'm here. Hello.
You're... God damn it. Leave.
All right. I'll be back. You might have to send me another request.
Yeah. Okay. God. All right. I'm back to rage. I know it doesn't take much for me, but God, if you had to deal with the likes of Raymond Langevin on a weekly basis, I don't own a gun for a reason. That was too far. I don't mean that, but a pencil in my eye, that'd be something different. Oh, hey, Ray.
You're rich.
How's it going?
It's going good. Just don't look at my video.
I was just talking about you.
About what?
Nothing. God damn it. You
Hold on. Keep going. Keep talking.
yeah.
There.
What'd you do?
I took it off the webcam and I just did my own computer one. I think it's something with that webcam that's going on.
Fucking webcams.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, deer. You're peeing. You got scared. Thought there was deer gonna bite your pecker.
I don't remember. It doesn't make a difference. Do you want to start the show with some opening takes? Bill is soon to join us as we get the show started. April Fools.